there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are NV Board Gaming. And today we're looking at the expansion to Parks called Nightfall. It's published by Keymaster Games, and Nick is going to tell us what it adds to the Parks game.
All right, let's go over some of the smaller items on the that were added. We have new cards, so we get cards added. We also replace the cards for the objectives. Those are all from the base game. All of those cards are gone, and these are now added. We have a board down here in which we can draw two of them and select one of them as an option for a campsite. We'll get into campsites soon. We have different parks got added. We have different animals, just some more animals that they do the same thing essentially. With one caveat, I'll mention that when you claim these new parks, some of them have instant abilities, and they also have a new payment. And this one has an example of both. This park has a 3 with a brown square that indicates that you can spend any resource, or you can spend one wild that will count for 2 of those resources. That's a variance. You don't have to play with it. It is suggested by the publisher, however. The designer, I should say. So that's added, and then you also, if you look at that, you have an instant ability on the new parks too occasionally. So these are just going to get mixed in with the original cards for parks. So this one has an instant ability for a campsite, and you can always reference the sheet on what exactly those do. So there's a side of this little reference card that shows the instant park actions. And then the other side shows the campsite actions. So what do campsites do? Depending on the number of players, you're going to have 3 or 4 of these campsites, these yellow meeple looking things. You're going to have these tokens out there in a configuration also based on the number of players. So when you go to a campsite, you can decide to do a campsite action, which is below the trailhead, or you can just do the regular action like you always do in parks. It's your choice. So you could, below the trailhead is this board that I showed you with these objectives. There's a spot in a 2-player game for just one of these campsites to go. And then if you're playing a 4-player game here, 4 or 5-player, there's a spot for 2. So you could go there, or alternatively, you're going to have 3 of these out in every game. It'll be random. There is one for just 4 or 5 plus, I believe. But you're going to draw 3 of these. And these are the rest of them go discarded in the box. So it's going to change every time you play.
Yeah.
So these are going to be out, and you can put a campsite. If you decide to do a campsite action as opposed to one on the trail, you're going to put your camp that is on the spot you went to, and you're going to assign it to one of those spots. And no one else can do that spot. And you're going to have a special action that you can do. These are also going to flip based on the round, and there's a little round marker at the bottom left of these tiles that says what rounds these are in play. If it's not that current round, you flip it to the round it actually is. So you're going to go ahead and do that action as opposed to the trail action. And that pretty much covers the bulk of what the main things you're going to be doing that are different. So Vic, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it added a lot to the game, but in a simple way, and it wasn't too crazy. It's nice to have more parks, especially the ones that have instant triggers that give you something like a campsite or gear, or you can get a park. That's a pretty huge one to be able to buy. I took advantage of that last game we played, where I was able to get a park after getting a park if you have the stuff for it, because you still have to pay the cost. So really interesting. Always enjoy this game. It's always fun. Nice to have different objectives that you can draft, although there are duplicates in the deck, so sometimes you do get stuck with the same thing you already had, but you get to choose between 2.
And it doesn't stack.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that. They don't stack if you have the same one twice, so don't draft the same
Doesn't add up. But always, beautiful art continues with that high quality production to me. So my score for the expansion on its own is an 8.3. I like what it added to the game. What do you think of it?
Really quickly, would you prefer playing with or without?
With. I would prefer to play with it, to be honest. What about you?
Yeah, with, for sure. I loved it. I thought the expansion really added a lot of great choices. I loved the choice that we had now of going to the camp site down
Yeah,
there.
yeah, because then you're foregoing that bonus. When you go to the campsite, you don't get the tokens that are on the trail if you go there. So you weigh that as part of what you're gonna do.
Yeah, everything adds to your planning. Now you have different options. You can see, how do I get what I need? And now there's just another way to get what you need. And it's a way to be clever. It makes you feel clever, more clever because of more options. You can look around. There's always a way to do something. It could be to get a wild somewhere. It could be to transfer tokens at the campsite. It could be that the new season, is going to give you something that you need based on its ability for that season. Yeah, so, and also that option of going down there and spending 3 sunshine and drawing
Yeah,
objectives.
new objective can be helpful, especially if you're finding the way the cards are coming up, like the parks.
And I love games with objectives. There's something about having it could be a hidden objective or just an objective. It could be public. I don't care. Something that gives you direction. Something I want to
purpose, yeah.
strive for. I love objectives in games, and this added it. And I mean, you already had it, but now you have more objectives. So more of a good thing. So I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, and my score reflects that. I think it's a 9.
Whoa.
I cannot recommend this enough. If you wanted parks to give it like a little extra life, I felt like it rejuvenated it. It was actually on the, I like the game a lot and I rate it very highly, but I mean it can get old, I guess, and I felt it was starting to taper off. This new life, it breathed new life into the game. I really did enjoy it. I thought now I want to play it again, and I think it's welcome at my table even more because of this expansion. So 9083.
8.3, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments below if you've checked out the Nightfall expansion for parks. And thank you so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel for more awesome game reviews. We will see you next time.
Bye.